Hello guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. Thanks for tuning in today. What we have here is the Walther PDP Pro SD Compact. Man, that's a mouthful. We here on the channel, Trey or I, neither one have had any of the Pro PDPs, the full size, and not this one either. Just picked this one up. We did have the original PDP. I will say that when that gun came out, I said, man, I really like the P99 version of Walther's polymer frame gun, and I kind of thought when they came out with this one, man, they went backwards, because I was strictly looking at the way overall the gun looked. I really liked the way the P99 looked, but I got the gun, the full size one, the original PDP, was so lightweight for the sheer size of that thing, but I just didn't fall in love with it. I really liked it. It was super accurate, super reliable. I didn't like the curved trigger, and I just didn't like the overall girth and size of that gun. I found myself not being able to carry it. I did put it on my nightstand a little bit, but I just didn't fall in love with it, so I ended up selling it, and I swore I was going to buy this Pro version, and why it is that I'm just now getting around to that, I don't know. But we have shot this gun. We'll invite you to check out our range video that should be up soon if it's not already, depending when you're watching this. But we'll talk more about what we did or maybe didn't like about the gun out at the range. This gun has been safety checked. Nothing here, no ammo on the table. So we'll start here at the bottom. One thing that I do like about the Pro that I did not like about the original PDP is that we do have the metal flared magwell here, and not only does that aid in loading the gun, but for me, the biggest reason I like flared magwell on compact guns, not so much subcompact but compact guns, is because I don't know if it's just because of my fat sausage fingers, but the way that my pinky hits that flared magwell, it just literally shoves my hand up into the undercut of this trigger guard and just gives me a tremendous, just confident feel and purchase on this gun, especially when I marry it with my support hand. It just feels amazing in the hand, even more so with the flared magwell. So it aids in loading, and for me it aids in how it feels in the hand. Also, it has these cutouts on each side of the flared magwell, which a lot of flared magwells do not, that will aid in ripping this loose if it were to get dirty or start getting stuck up in the magwell there. And I just really like the flared magwell on a compact gun. So we'll move on up, and you can take it off, by the way, because you do have to drive this pin out to change one of the 3 back straps that come with the gun. I believe I have the medium one on here, but you do have to drive out that pin and pull off the flared magwell and replace your back strap, push the magwell back up in there, and you can leave the magwell off. You don't have to leave it on there. If you want to leave it off, perfectly fine. Maybe you want to get some aftermarket magazines or something and it won't work with it, but that's perfectly fine. I really like, even when the magwell's not on there, how the very bottom of the grip kind of protrudes out in the front, which allows, again, for you to feel and have a really nice, confident purchase on the gun. These side panels here, they have these grooves, as you see in the picture, on each side that really fit your hand nicely. So the side panels and the back strap have the same aggressive checkering on them, and from the looks of it, if you were just looking at it, you would say, man, that's really aggressive on the front too, that nice aggressive checkering there. But it's not. It's almost slick. It's definitely not as sure as the sides and the rear is, and I don't really know why. But again, with the aid of the magwell and this deep flat undercut under the trigger guard here, it doesn't really seem to really bother my grip, even at the range. As we did shoot this gun, we'll invite you to go check that video out and get more thoughts on, you know, how we feel about it at the range. But it just, a lot of times when you don't have aggressive checkering on the front, during the recoil, your hand starts to slide down, and that's why I don't like some of the newer 1911s that don't have the front strap, the front strap checkering. Front of this trigger guard also has checkering on the front of it. If you're into that kind of thing, I don't really shoot that way, but if you're into that, it's there. You have that nice squared off trigger guard here, much like what you might see on the CZs, and also a very easily manipulated mag release here. I do not have to adjust my grip. As you know, I hate that. Falls out very freely. You get 3 of the 18 round magazines. You get the speed loader, and you get the molded plastic case here. I kind of wish maybe I'd have some type of a carrying bag. I find myself using carrying bags more than I do these big bulky plastic cases that take up space in the house. Overall, the barrel length on this is 4.6. I'm gonna cheat here off of my little sheet. The weight on this is 26.4, and the overall length is 8.1. Now I'm not sure if that includes the extended threaded barrel here. I don't really know if that includes that or not, but overall 8.1. And it does have a 3-slot pick rail here, or rail, for you to mount your light, laser, whatever you would like to mount up there. And it is optic ready, as you know. So we will get to the part of this that aggravates me, as with every other pistol. This pistol I paid $849 plus tax, I believe. Yes, $849 plus tax. And I've seen them for $799, stuff like that. Either way, you're paying somewhere between $800 and $900 for this pistol. And I just feel like if you're gonna pay that price for a gun, that it should come with the plates, it should come with the raised night sights, that it should not come with plastic, even though these are adjustable. And we made a point to shoot with these factory sights to see how they were as is, but as mentioned, they are plastic. That drives me insane. I do not know why they could not put some pressure height sights on here. Not only is this optic ready, but it's suppressor ready, so you can't shoot suppressed with these sights, nor can you co-witness with the optic on here with these sights. The only thing that kind of redeems them, I guess, if you will, is the fact they are Glock cut sights. So you can get you a set of Ameriglows for 50, 60, 70 bucks, whatever you decide. I have ordered and they have came in. I do have some Ameriglows for this. As soon as my plate comes in, I'll be putting Trijicon Hollison 407C or something up here, and I will be replacing these sights. So how they performed at the range will really be irrelevant when it comes to, you know, how I shoot from here on forward, because I can't shoot an optic ready gun with an optic on it that does not have backup sights. Okay, originally on the PDP, one of the things that I thought about it, the reason I said that it was gawky, that it was ugly, was because of the sheer girth and what I said gawkiness of this slide. But man, I tell you what, I'm not sure that there's a gun on the planet that I don't have as strong a hands as some people do, you know, being close to 50 years old now. But I'm telling you right now, the grip that you get on those front serrations is insane. And this is a 16-18 pound trigger, a recoil spring. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but it's heavy, it's heavily sprung, and I can easily manipulate it with those front serrations there. Also, of course, does have the rear serrations. So it's I can even grab these little indents right behind or right in front of the cover plate here, and I can even rack it from there. You have these indents on the very front. It seems very strategic and well placed. You kind of have to shoot this gun, like I say about CZs, to really appreciate it. As I mentioned, it is a threaded barrel, 1/2 by 28. I am aggravated because it does walk off while you're shooting it. I am aggravated that, again, $800 to $900 pistol, they can't put an O-ring on there to help hold this thing in place. So after I shoot it suppressed, I'm gonna have to put a little Loctite or something on there so it doesn't come flying off on me while I'm shooting out at the range. So no raised night sights for suppressor or optic use. Does not come with optic plates. Sights are plastic. And another thing that aggravates the crap out of me is that it has a plastic guide rod. I hate a plastic guide rod. I'll probably be replacing this. I ain't sure yet which one I'll go with, but it'll certainly be a stainless steel all metal guide rod. Again, $800–900. Give me a break. Put me a doggone, you know, stainless steel guide rod in there. And also I would probably replace it anyway, just because again of how that feels. 16–18 pounds. I'm not sure what it is, but it's heavy. It's heavy. So I feel like you could get away with a 10–12 pound spring in there and it would probably perform fine. But I guess now we'll get down to what some people are calling, again, I did mention the mag release. It does seem as though it is swappable, that you can move it around for the lefty, so I'm sure Trey would like to appreciate that. And again, you have plenty of space inside this trigger guard. If you were shooting with gloves or something, you could easily get your finger in there. And there's nothing else on the gun except for the slide lock that is ambidextrous, but it is an ambidextrous slide lock there. So, you know, hey, I guess you have that going for you. It takes down just like the other Walther does. And you know, in the box here you have your lock, you have firearm safety. Let's see, you have some directions here on how to remove and install your plate and optic, and you have the user manual here, and it does come with another spring for shooting suppress. Got the green spring here, so I guess I will have to use that unless I choose to buy a spring that I can do both suppressed and non-suppressed. But it does come with the extra spring, you know, congratulations for that. But again, I invite you guys to go check out our range video. That's where we really talk about whether or not we can get over the price versus the plastic sights, no optic plate, no suppressor height sights, and a plastic guide rod. Can we get over those things? How does it perform at the range? And so before we leave, we will talk about the trigger, since that's what everybody talks about. Does have the performance duty trigger in there, just like the full-size Pro did. Has this metal blade safety in the center here that completely gets lost in the shoe whenever you push it down. It's not a completely flat trigger, as it does have a little bend, if you will, at the very tip of the shoe. That for me, man, it just guides my finger nicely. It does have some take up, but it's not gritty. When it hits the wall, it pretty much breaks right when it hits the wall. It's a predictable break. There's no grit in the trigger. You know what? They say that Canik borrowed a lot of things from the Walther. I'm sure that's true, and that's why their triggers are so great. Now, the reset on this is not shorter. I do think overall that the Canik trigger is better than this one. Now, I know I'll get some hate mail for that, but I genuinely believe that. Now, they say that this is about a 5-pound trigger. To me, it feels way less than that. Feels like it could potentially be around 4 pounds. Reset is great, very crisp, no grit whatsoever. I'm not a trigger snob, but it's a great trigger. Again, we'll talk more about what we thought of the trigger while we were shooting this out at the range. So we invite you to run over and check out the range video. Hopefully it's already up, and we will talk more about whether or not we think this is worth the price that you pay and how it functions at the range. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, tell your friends where they can find the best blue collar review on YouTube of the Walther PDP SD Pro SD Compact. Thanks again, guys.